আমি নুরুল আজিজ, অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট টিচার ইংলিশ, কৃষ্ণকুমারী সিটি কর্পোরেশন গার্লস হাই স্কুল। সবাইকে আবারও আমার ক্লাসে স্বাগতম। আমি গত ক্লাসে ক্লাস 7-এর ইংলিশ ফর টুডে বই থেকে একটা ইউনিটের একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ লেসন পড়িয়েছিলাম বেগম রোকেয়ার উপর। আজকে আমরা আরো একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ লেসন নিয়ে আলোচনা করব ওই একই ইউনিটেরই। সো আশা করি সবার হাতে আমরা স্টুডেন্টদেরকে মাথায় রেখেই কথাগুলো বলছি। সো আশা করি সবার হাতে ইংলিশ ফর টুডে এই বইটি আছে। সো সবাই আশা করি রেডি তোমার ক্লাসটা আজকে করার জন্য। আর আমাদের এই অনলাইন স্কুলের চট্টগ্রাম অনলাইন স্কুলের পেজটা সবাই যদি বেশি বেশি শেয়ার করো, তাহলে অন্য স্টুডেন্টরা, সারা দেশের স্টুডেন্টরা আমাদের ক্লাসগুলো জেনে তারা উপকৃত হবে। সো আমরা সার্থক হব যদি তোমরা কিছুটা হলেও এই ক্লাসগুলো থেকে উপকৃত হও। সো আশা করছি সবাই ভালো আছো, বাসায় থাকছো, স্বাস্থ্যবিধি মেনে চলছো। সো সবার জন্য শুভকামনা রেখে আমার আজকের ক্লাসটা শুরু করছি। So dear student, let's begin our today's class. So first of all, to start with a welcome slide. Chattogram Online School provides you some important classes every day. So you are following those classes regularly according to routine. I'm Nurul Aziz. Welcome you again. So first of all, you see a picture of a great lady. You know this woman? Can you tell me the name? Yes, she is none other than Hellen Keller, the great humanitarian lady. What is she famous for? For her humanitarian activities for the disabled people. So our today's lesson is Hellen Keller. Please open at page 47 of this book. Lesson 3, Hellen Keller part 1, where you see this picture. So this is the picture of Hellen Keller. So learning outcomes. Every lesson has some learning outcomes. After the end of the lessons, you will be able to ask and answer questions, talk about people, read and understand text, match words and write true or false, choose the best answer. These are the key learning outcomes of this lesson, of our today's lesson. So as usual, we learn some vocabularies to begin a lesson so that we can understand this lesson properly. Humanitarian, the first word you see in the picture, you see in the book, there are 4 words for you: humanitarian, disabled, inventor, plantation. We will discuss these words. If you know, please let me know the meaning, or if you don't know, please try to follow. Humanitarian, you see a picture of another great lady. She is Mother Teresa. So Mother Teresa is a humanitarian lady. So that means humanitarian means disabled, charitable or caring. Charitable or caring, who works for the welfare of the suffering people. So make a sentence. If you make a sentence, that means you are using the word in the sentence. Mother Teresa was a great humanitarian lady. So next word is disabled, is also an adjective. So you see a picture in a boy who is unable to move. Someone is helping him to move forward. That means disabled means immobilized or inactivated. If you say immobilized or inactivated. That means he is unable to do anything himself. If we make a sentence, we should take care of disabled people. Yes, we should take care of disabled people. You also can make sentence yourself at home. Another word is inventor, a familiar word to you. Invention, from invention, inventor. The people who invent something is called inventor. So this is the picture of an inventor, a scientist. You see a picture of a bulb. So he is naturally, you can say he is a discoverer or maker of something newly. So Edison, this is the picture of Edison, was a great inventor. If I say a sentence, Edison was a great inventor. Another word is plantation. This is also a familiar word to you. Plantation, such as tree plantation. So you see a picture of a garden. So plantation means garden or cultivation. In a sentence, we can say, our country observed tree plantation week in June. This month is tree plantation week observed. So we have learned some vocabularies. Then we will move on to the text. The text is not so difficult for you as we have learned the words. So I'm going to discuss some key features of this text. You see, begins with Hellen Keller was a great humanitarian, as we told you. Um, she deeply cared for the people who were sick and injured. Look at this, sick and injured. That means the people who are suffering very much. These disabled people, these sick and injured people are disabled. They could not use part of their body. Helen worked for the disabled people all through her life. Helen Keller was born in 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Her father was Captain Arthur Keller and her mother Catherine Adams Keller. Her family was not rich and its main source of income was cotton plantation. Cotton, you know. Helen was quite healthy. She was when she was born, but in 1882 she had a high fever, and she became blind, deaf, and dumb. That means she couldn't see, she couldn't hear anything, and she couldn't say anything also. At that time, her father was a newspaper editor. He told Alexander Graham Bell about Helen. Bell, the inventor of telephone, was working with deaf children at that time. Later, Bell met Helen and her parents. He suggested Parkins School for the Blind in Boston for Helen. In Boston and Alabama, all these are places in the USA. So Helen was born in the USA. Captain Arthur went to the director of the school, Parkins School. The name of the director was Michael Anagonas. Mr. Anagonas sent one of his best students called Annie Sullivan to help Helen in 1882. Annie greatly helped Helen to communicate. We have learned the facts in the text. Now we will learn some pictorial information about this text so that you can visualize the things. So in my next slide, you see Helen was born in 1880 in Tuscumbia. These are the key facts. She had a high fever in 1882. She became disabled in 1882, the same year of her fever. You see Helen taking care of dog. Now you see parents of Helen, the house where Helen was born, and the childhood picture of Helen. You know, she was a healthy child when she was born. This is Helen Keller's house in Alabama. Her parents, Arthur Keller and Catherine Keller. Now, this is Helen's childhood picture when she was born. So, next slide, you see another key fact. She was blind, deaf, and dumb. That is, she was disabled. See another picture of an inventor mentioned in the text. Who is this? This is Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of telephone. Another picture of an institution. What is the name of this institution? Can you say? This is Helen's School. That means Parkins School for the Blind. Another picture, you see a boy is learning, probably he is blind, so the teacher is helping him to learn through a system. This system of learning is called braille. You know braille, in the typing keyboard you see a braille text. So this is a learning system for the blind people called braille system. So Helen learned through this system. See another picture. There is Helen and another woman mentioned in the text. This is Annie Sullivan with Helen Keller, who helped her a lot to learn. So we have come to the testing point. You see, we have discussed the text and learned some vocabularies and some pictures from the text. In section C, you see there is a matching table. So the meaning of these words are given in a disarranged way. So you have to arrange this and say the meaning. So we have learned these words. The first one is humanitarian. That means you can say making people suffering less and improving their living conditions. So humanitarian means making people's suffering less and improving their living condition. Inventor. There is another word, inventor. That means a person who has discovered something. We have discussed these words. So plantation means a large area of land where crops like sugar, banana, etc. are grown. Disabled. Disabled means unable to use a part of the body easily or completely because of illness or injury, etc. So we have finished this lesson, section of matching. So we will move on to our next activity, that is D, true or false. The instruction: if false, give the correct answer. If the sentences are false, and you have to give the correct answer. So the first one is Helen always helped the suffering people. Is it true? Helen always helped the suffering people. Is this true? Yes. This sentence is very much true. So we see the answer. Yes, the answer is true. The next one is she came from a rich family. She came from a rich family. Did she come from a rich family? No, she came from a family which was not so rich. So is this true? No, this is false. What is the correct answer? She came from a poor family. That means not rich family. So next one, you see, she was born blind, deaf and dumb. Is it true? She was born blind, deaf and dumb. We have discussed in the text that she was a healthy child. That means she was not sick when she was born. So later she became blind, deaf and dumb. So that is not true. That means it is a false statement. What should be the correct answer? She was born healthy. She was born healthy. Later she became blind, deaf and dumb. Question number 4. Alexander Graham Bell was both an inventor and a social worker. Is it true? Yes, this is true. Because she was an inventor and she also was working with the children who were deaf. I mean, who couldn't hear anything. So this is true. The next one is final. Annie Sullivan was a good teacher of Helen. Is it true or false? This is true. She helped her learning her lessons through Braille system or in all way she helped her. Annie Sullivan greatly helped her to learn. That means it is true. So we will move on to our last part of the lesson, that is E. You see, tick the correct answer. The first one is Helen worked for what? For what she worked? Women's rights, disabled people or poor people? Which one should be the correct answer? I think you can easily answer this question. That is suitable correct word is for the disabled people. She worked for the disabled people. So the next one is Alexander Graham Bell invented. What did she invent? What did Alexander Graham Bell invented? He invented telephone. You see, the answer is the telephone. Bell also worked for the people who could not what? Hear. That means deaf children who could not hear. So we have finished the text by now. So I think we understand the text from this lesson. What we have learned? We have learned 4 vocabularies, important vocabularies for this text. We have discussed the text. We have learned some pictorial evidence of this text related events, and we have some activities, that is matching true false and tick the correct answers. So we have discussed so many things, so many facts about Helen Keller. So can you write something about Helen Keller? Yes, of course you can write. This is not too difficult for you. So you can write something about Helen Keller. So I ask you to write 5 sentences about Helen Keller's life, and this is your homework. Write 5 sentences on Helen Keller as a great humanitarian lady. So that's all for today. Thank you very much once again. um, Please follow the page of Chattogram Online School. This is a great help for you. And also we have a YouTube channel where you can find these lessons in video format. If you miss, anyone miss, then you can watch this later from this YouTube channel. So please subscribe this channel. And so thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Thank you.